He did not lose his desires when he fell. He lost the right to keep them. The day Bran climbed the tower, his wanting was still intact. His body was small, but his wishes were ordinary and unexamined. He wanted to climb higher. He wanted to be seen. He wanted to move where he was told not to. The stone was cold under his fingers. The wind pressed against his chest. He climbed because climbing had always ended in applause or laughter or scolding that meant he was still safe. When the window opened, it did not show him a view. It showed him adults doing something forbidden and unafraid. A hand caught him. A voice spoke calmly. He fell. The ground did not kill him. It took something more precise. His legs did not answer when he tried to stand. The pain did not fade into memory. It stayed and taught him where his body ended. What he lost was not movement. It was the expectation that wanting could lead anywhere. He woke surrounded by faces that tried to be still. They did not say what he already felt. They did not tell him that his life had narrowed. They let silence do it. He reached for his legs again. Nothing followed. The first thing that vanished was choice. He could not leave his bed. He could not turn away from grief. He could not decide what hurt and what did not. From that moment, every desire had to pass through other people's hands. When the dagger came for him in the night, it did not argue. It moved directly toward his throat. He could not run. He could not fight. He could only shout. The wolf killed the man. The danger ended. What closed then was the illusion that safety returned once violence stopped. His survival depended on others noticing in time. They carried him south in a basket. He did not choose the road. He did not choose to leave home. His body traveled without permission, and his mind followed because it had no alternative. At court, he watched a man confess to pushing him. He heard the words spoken clearly. He waited for restoration. The sentence was not mercy, it was absence. The man walked free. No punishment followed. What ended there was justice as a tool for repair. Bran learned that truth did not move the world if power refused it. On the long road back north, his body ached with motion he could not make. The jolting of the cart reminded him that travel no longer meant adventure. It meant endurance. Then the dreams began. He ran in them. He hunted. He tore flesh and tasted blood. He woke breathless and whole. The body in the bed was still broken. And the first time he understood what the dreams offered, he did not resist. The wolf's legs moved where his could not. The forest opened instead of blocked. Pain had no language there. The cost appeared immediately. He slept too long. He woke confused. He answered voices late. What narrowed then was presence. Each time he escaped into the wolf, he returned less fully to himself. When the man with the burned face came, he did not ask permission. He named what Bran was becoming. He did not call it a gift gently. He treated it as a burden that could not be put down. He trained Bran without asking what Bran wanted. The lessons were practical. The commands were absolute. Do not cling. Do not refuse. Do not want. The wolves were killed one by one. The sounds of them dying came through Bran's dreams before they reached his waking ears. Each death arrived as a tearing loss, not symbolic, not distant. What vanished with them was the idea that connection was safe. Wanting something alive meant feeling it die. When Winterfell burned, Bran did not flee on his own. He was carried again. His home collapsed behind him while he faced forward because turning was not possible. The road north was not chosen. It was assigned by the disappearance of everything else. Hunger stripped days down to tasks. Cold erased distraction. Fear replaced planning. Each step away from home reduced his claim to ordinary desire. Food mattered more than dreams. Warmth mattered more than hope. When he crossed beyond the wall, the world grew quiet in a way that did not invite thought. Snow swallowed sound. The sky did not respond. The boy who wanted to climb was gone. The boy who wanted to walk had already been buried. What remained was a body that could be carried and a mind that could be used. The cave did not welcome him. It absorbed him. Roots pressed through stone. Darkness closed around his eyes. The old man in the chair did not stand to greet him. Bran was shown visions without context. Kings rose. Kings burned. Faces blurred into movement. He did not ask what he was allowed to keep. The lessons answered before the question formed. Every vision replaced a memory he could no longer reach easily. Every truth learned made a personal wish feel smaller and less relevant. The rule was never spoken. It was demonstrated. When he asked about the future, he was shown the past. When he asked about himself, he was shown the world. What disappeared there was priority. His life stopped being the center of its own meaning. The old man died without ceremony. The responsibility did not ask if Bran was ready. It settled onto him like weight onto a structure already cracked. He sat in the chair. The roots tightened. The visions did not slow. From that moment, wanting became interference. Desire distorted clarity. Attachment threatened accuracy. Bran did not give up wanting because he was wise. He lost it because every time he tried to hold something, the world demanded he let it go. He learned the cost of holding on the moment the cave fell silent. The roots no longer whispered instruction. The visions did not pause. They widened. He tried to remember his mother's voice as it sounded before grief hardened it. The memory surfaced briefly, then fractured under the weight of other voices speaking over it. Names, dates, deaths. What closed then was ownership. His memories were no longer kept for him alone. When he returned south, he did not announce himself. He arrived as something that required accommodation, not recognition. Men looked at the chair before they looked at his face. They moved out of the way, not toward him. At Winterfell, the stone was familiar and wrong. The walls stood where they had always stood. The people did not. He watched his sisters approach him cautiously. They searched his face for something they remembered. He did not reach for them. What ended there was reflex. Affection no longer arrived without calculation. He told them things they had never said aloud. He named moments they believed belonged only to themselves. Their relief turned into distance. The damage was immediate. Every truth he spoke removed a layer of intimacy. Knowing became separation. When lords gathered, they did not ask him what he hoped for. They asked what he saw. His usefulness was clear. His interior life was not requested. He answered carefully. Each answer flattened something human. The night before the battle, the air carried dread. Men sharpened weapons. Women waited. Bran did not prepare. He closed his eyes and left. His body remained while his attention moved elsewhere. The sounds of dying reached him through ravens instead of ears. He did not flinch. What disappeared there was participation. Survival no longer required presence. When the dead came, he did not run. He could not. He did not try. The enemy moved toward him with purpose. He watched from above. When the blade fell and the night broke, the living celebrated. Bran did not react. The loss was subtle. Victory meant nothing because it did not belong to him. Afterward, when they asked him to rule, the request did not feel like assent. It felt like recognition of absence. He had no wife to endanger, no ambition to distort judgment, no hunger for more. The chair waited. When he accepted, nothing inside him resisted. That was the final damage. He sat before the realm and answered questions without warmth. He spoke without persuasion. He remembered without attachment. What closed then was possibility. Wanting would have implied a direction he could no longer justify. The boy who once climbed for joy would have wanted to refuse. The boy who wanted to walk would have wanted to try. Those boys were not present to object. Bran did not become empty. He became occupied. Every choice now had consequences beyond his comprehension of self. Every desire would tilt the scale. So desire was removed. He did not say he did not want. He behaved as if wanting no longer applied. The world mistook this for wisdom. It was adaptation. When he looked forward, he saw outcomes. When he looked inward, he saw noise. Wanting introduced distortion. Distortion invited error. Error cost lives. Meaning arrived only after the accumulation of loss made it unavoidable. Bran did not lose the right to want because power demanded sacrifice. He lost it because survival kept selecting against it. Each event took something small and personal. Each survival required him to give something up, until nothing personal remained that could be safely held. He sits now, surrounded by voices that speak to him as if he is above them. He is not. He is beneath the weight of everything he remembers. Wanting would make that weight uneven. An uneven weight breaks structures already damaged, so he does not want. Not because he is complete, but because the world trained him to survive without it.